Hello everyone, welcome to this session. In our today's session, we are going to discuss on an interesting topic which is dealing with information overload. Well, information overload is not something that is only specific to business analysis. Information overload may happen at any designation at any role. But in today's session, we are going to focus information overload in reference with business analysis. Well, what is information overload? Well, as per Wikipedia, information overload, also known as infobesity, infoxication, information anxiety, and information explosion, is the difficulty in understanding an issue and effectively making decisions when one has too much information about that issue. Well, did you understand this? Not right? Let us understand it a bit deeper context. Before even understanding information overload, we need to identify what are the sources of information overload as a business analyst. The very first source is too many meetings. Now this meeting can happen with technical user, the meeting can happen with non-technical user, can be a functional user. But do you agree with me that not all meetings are productive? There are a lot of discussion that are going on in that meeting, and it is very hard to have all the information translated into useful requirements, because at that point in time not all information is relevant to your project or your product that you are working on. The next source of information overload is automated reports. Well, this is an era of automation wherein you get all the batch jobs executed at a specific time frame every day, but you are notified via email. All the reports are delivered to you on your email. Now, if you are in that distribution list, you get this report on a daily basis onto your mailbox. But are they really relevant? Well, some reports might be relevant to you, some report might be relevant to the operations management team. Some report may give you some insights on how the team is, how the product is doing, or what is the acceptance of that product when it comes to operations. But it may not be that significant for you. The third source of information overload is your mailbox. You get a lot of emails on a daily basis with different teams. Some are follow-up emails, some are request for something, some emails are directly from the operations team, some emails are for a status check. On top of that, there are notifications from requirements management tool like Jira, Confluence, Visual Studio Team Foundation Server, wherein user asks you some sort of information from system via system. Now there are a lot of things happening in your mailbox. So those are multiple aspects that you have to deal with when you are checking your mailbox. Like, what information is relevant to me? I mean, should I focus on the notification? Should I focus on the follow-up? Should I focus on answering the query? Should I respond to a operation team request? You are confused. The fourth source of information overload is multitasking. Well, multitasking happens usually when you are dealing with multiple projects or multiple activity at the same time. Imagine a situation when you are compiling an email and all of a sudden an operations guy pings you that this functionality is not working, then what to focus? Compiling the email or responding to him? Because there are a lot of information that is getting overloaded on you. I mean, you are accountable to respond to both the aspect. You have to compile that email, you have to respond to that ping message. But how do you decide? Because there is a lot of information that is being exchanged. The fifth source could be aging documents. Imagine a situation wherein you are tagged to a project as a business analyst, and that project went to operations environment since last 5 years. Since last 5 years that project is in operation, and you expect that all the documentation in and around that project is well organized, it is well traced, it is well versioned. Is this a reality? I don't think so. Because whenever a project goes into operation, it is highly unlikely, again, it depends on the business team or the team who is accountable to manage those documentation, how they manage it. But in my personal observation, it is highly unlikely that the documentation would be up to date. Now, what is the point in referring the documents which are not up to date? Well, it can help you to establish a base or a basic understanding around that product or project. But thereon, whatever modification has happened, it is your accountability as a business analyst to trace it out. So again, there the headache is the information. Where would you find those information? What has happened 4 years ago? What has happened 3 years ago? What has happened 2 years ago? What has happened last month? Well, you can definitely trace the requirement up to last 6 months or max to max last 1 year. But before that, whatever communication has happened, you have no idea as a business analyst. Now, again, you have to struggle a lot in order to structure those information year on year. And that is again something that is overloaded on you. The information. Either that information is not available or it is something that is very old. Now, if we have to understand information, information can typically fall into two categories: useful or not useful. It can never be useless because an information that may seem not useful may be useful at a later point in time. For example, if you are working on a marketplace like Amazon, what would be your priority at this point in time? Well, to deliver functionality whose values can be realized instantly. You have to focus on the instant functionalities. For example, listing of products, searching of products, implementation of payment process, implementation of checkout process, implement of shipping and tracking process. Then what are the information that are not useful? Well, to give you an example, consider search history. Well, search history is something the end user never cares what he is searching. But for a company, it is like a gold mine. A search history can actually tell or predict the demand for a future. of a specific product. Let's say I'm searching for an Apple product. How many people are searching for that product? Well, that could give a future prediction of how many people may be interested in buying that product. Now, that information is something that is not useful at this point in time, because now you are focusing on building the system, but that information would be of immense importance when you have finished building up that system. So this is how the information that may seem not useful now can be of immense importance at a later point in time. Now, before even deep diving into this context or understanding how to deal with information overload, let us do a reality check. Let us understand with whom a business analyst interacts on a daily basis. Well, if you see here, there are so many people with whom business analyst interacts on a daily basis. Well, a business analyst interacts with the business team. The business, as in the people who sponsor the project, with whom you would be working in gathering the requirements. Then comes your strategies team, who are at a very top level in terms of management. A level below is the portfolio team, a level below is the program team, and then comes your project team. Now, the project team comprises of your project manager, the development team, the QA team, and you as a business analyst. Now, typically what happens, a project is always negotiated by the sales team from a business company or the business users. After they have negotiated, after all the deals are formulated, the project goes through different hierarchy, like it is tagged to a particular portfolio, a particular program, and then the actual project comes. So there is a top level hierarchy that has to follow a project when it comes to an organization. Well, you as a business analyst, more or less, would be interacting with all these stakeholders. Now, when you would be interacting with all these stakeholders, not all information would be relevant to you. Consider you are interacting with the strategies team. They won't ask you what you have documented. Rather, they may ask you what is the project status? What is the status of your project? What is the completeness percentage of that project? They may ask you directly, or they may ask your project manager to whom you have to provide this report. When it comes to portfolio team, they may ask you to leverage your domain expertise in one of the upcoming project. When it comes to program team, they may ask you to leverage your again domain expertise in one of the upcoming project, or if any particular project that is going through some difficult time, if you could help them. But your main interaction would be between the business team and the project team, which comprises of your project manager, your developers, and your quality assurance team. Now, if you check the ratio of a BA to a developer, it is always 1:5 in most of the cases. Always won't be the right term in most of the cases. One BA has to deal with at least 5 developer and at least 5 QA and one project manager. And on top of that, these all people are also there. So imagine a situation when you have to deal with so many people. What level of information would be getting exchanged there? Now you have to keep all your stakeholders satisfied. And at the same time, you have to ensure that you don't go through an information overload. Now, how do you deal with information overload? Well, here are some of the solutions that I could recommend you when it comes to dealing with information overload. First is organizing your work. Like I said, basis on what we discussed on the various sources of information overload, if you are getting too many emails, try to organize your mailbox. Try to organize how the information would be captured in your mailbox. If you feel that there are 4 5 responsible stakeholder or accountable stakeholder for a specific area, try to create some folder with that stakeholder's name. That is number one you can do. Number two is, for whatever notification you are receiving from system, try to create a folder with that notification. Number three is, if you are getting a lot of automated reports on your mailbox, try to create a folder that could accommodate all your automated reports. Similarly, try to organize your meeting calendar as well. Ensure that whenever you are setting up a meeting, you clearly specify whatever the agenda, so that you get the idea by looking at the invite itself. What is this meeting all about? If in case you are lost in what needs to be discussed, you can read through the agenda. What is this meeting all about? There may be a situation that there, I mean, out of 8 hours, 6 hours you are scheduling meeting every day, and what was discussed in last meeting and what needs to be discussed in today's meeting, you can, create a follow-up section in that invite itself. Like, this is something that we had discussed in our last meeting, and this is something that we are going to discuss in today's meeting. So that would help you in terms of organizing the information that you are about to exchange. Number two is organizing your time. So whatever information that you are dealing with, you have to time box it. Meeting this many hours, walk through this many hours, analysis this many hours. Organize your time. If there are multiple projects you are dealing with, if there are multiple stakeholders you are dealing with, you have to organize it in a structured way. For example, there could be a situation like your program manager asks you an information, but you have that information, but you are not sure whether it's the correct information. And you have to first consult with your project manager. And let's say the program manager has scheduled a meeting at 3, and you have to get it approved or get it consulted by your project manager before even sending out that information. So you can schedule a meeting at 2, so that you get a go ahead indication from your project manager, or you get that time to review that information with your project manager before sending it out to your program manager in that meeting, or discussing with your program manager in that meeting at 3. So you have to establish a structure when you are organizing your time. Like, if some information is dependent on someone, then you first go with the top level hierarchy, then come a layer down, and then you can pass on that information. So there's a basic structure that you can follow when it comes to organizing your time. So this would help you in order to ensure that whatever information you are passing on is correct and up to date. Number three, establish a traceability. This is very simple and straightforward. Whatever information you are giving, whatever follow-up you are doing from the business, always trace those information, what has been discussed previously, what is being discussed, and what is estimated or what is coming up next. You can establish a traceability so that whatever information is being exchanged, they all are in sync. You don't have to um, overload yourself in terms of what has been discussed, I don't remember, what is coming up next, I don't remember. So don't memorize these things, rather put it in document and try to establish a traceability. Your traceability matrix can help you when it comes to business analysis. Or the simplest thing that you could do is create minutes of meetings. You could refer what has been discussed in last meeting so that you can establish a traceability. Or you can record your session as well if you don't have that much time to go over at a later point in time. Number 4, one thing at a time. Like I said, do not try to multitask because humans are not made for multitasking. Do one thing at a time. Focus your energy, your vision on one thing at a time. If stakeholder A is saying, give me this information, give him that information first before moving to stakeholder B. You cannot multitask because that would lead to human error and that could cost a lot of rework. Number 5, negotiate your overload. Now, this is a very sensitive thing to discuss. Just in case you feel that you are getting overloaded, or if you are unable to focus on a specific set of um, process, always talk to your manager or your senior B or whoever is senior to you that this is something that is getting overloaded on me, this set of information that is getting overloaded on me. So what they could do is they could plan something for you, how you can structure these things around you. If in case you are unable to structure, do not hesitate to take help from others. Now, the gist of this session is take all information, prioritize and use as needed. Like I said, all the information are useful. Some may be useful instantly, some may be useful at a later point in time. No information is useless except those unnecessary talks that you do in meeting. There are some free business analysis courses which are now live on my channel. For people who are looking for basic business analysis knowledge, they can go for Business Analysis Masterclass. For people who are looking for basic plus a little more, they can go for Emerging Business Associate Program. For people who are looking for basic plus a little advanced, they can go for Emerging Business Executive Program. Simply follow a playlist on my channel. For more content, you can visit my website. You can book free discussion as a YouTube subscriber. You can register for a webinar. You can enroll for membership. And yes, if you did like this video, consider subscribing to this channel. With this, I want to thank you all for your time invested in watching this video.